Hey guys, welcome to Ready Up, your source for everything competitive in Guild Wars 2. I'm your host, Joshua Davis, aka Grouch. Today we'll be covering the first and second qualifiers for the Tournament of Legends, as well as the Misspedia and ESL Weekly Cups. Later we'll be talking about the Gamescom International All-Stars Tournament. We'll be announcing the winners of the vote that you guys helped pick the winners for. And towards the very end, we'll be talking about the Engineer and Ranger, which is... there's some interesting stuff. You guys will really like what we did. A little bit different from what we usually do when we announce balance changes, so it should be pretty cool. Anyways, before we get rolling, I'm going to just go over the Weekly Cup winners from last week and the week before. So shout out to these guys real quick here. So for the ESL 5v5, that's I Love Lunch. ESL 2v2 is Bird is the Word. Ironically, the day they played was the day that the bird was reduced in effectiveness. The Misspedia 5v5 is Outplayed by Children. Misspedia 2v2 is Columbia World Cup Champs. And then for this week, it was 55 HP Monks. For the ESL 5v5, Misspedia 5v5 was randomized. And Misspedia 2v2 was the Royal Paninis. Joining me today to talk about all this cool stuff is going to be Justin Czech from DPS. They helped us out with the first Tournament of Legends. Definitely a very helpful guy. And he'll be hosting the Tournament of Legends 2 qualifiers this weekend for NA. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, going great, man. You know, a year and a half ago, I was watching you do State of the Game, and now I'm here with you on Ready Up. So this is awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting year, I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots changed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so anyways, Tournament of Legends 2, normally hosted by Blue and those guys, but DPS going to be stepping in this weekend and helping us out. So again, big shout out to you. Where can we find you this weekend?
So we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We're going to be streaming from our channel at twitch.tv/digitalprosports. So check us out over there. That's where all the NA Tournament of Legend 2 qualifiers action is going to be this Sunday. Stream will start at 12 p.m. Pacific. Look forward to having you guys on. It's going to be myself and Christian shoutcasting.
Oh, nice. Sounds good. And I know for the EU stream, which is going to be on Saturday, it'll actually be Jebro and Naya will be hosting. So one of the top players from EU will be stepping in and helping out. So I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited about that.
So let me pull up the PowerPoint here before I goof up here. There we go. So I've got the, I know you guys have been waiting for a while here, but I do have the All-Star rosters, again, that you guys voted on. So we're going to announce those really quick here. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm really happy to have had the opportunity to set something up like this. We were kind of interesting position, like how do we do something at Gamescom this year? And with the amount of time that we had, we thought All-Star Tournament would be a great idea to do. So we went with it. So the first, as long as we're showing the presentation here, if I get a nod from my producer over here, he's not paying attention to me. I'm hoping it's up right now. So we'll be going through the Chinese All-Stars. I'll be honest, most of you guys are probably not familiar with these guys because they do play on the Chinese servers. I'm just going to tab through these very slowly. So we've got Geo. We've got Nocturne. Love You Muji. Mr. Time. And Captain Hook. Probably not the real Captain Hook from stories of from old, but a new Captain Hook. Anyways, I'm really excited about these guys because I'm actually going to be flying to China this Sunday to go to China Joy, and I believe we'll be playing against these guys on stage, which makes me very nervous because I'm going to play with a team of people from ArenaNet, so I'm expecting, no offense to my friends at ArenaNet, but I think we're probably going to get destroyed, as these are some of the top players from China, so it'll be very interesting, but that's definitely going to happen. So, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the North American All-Stars that you guys are maybe a bit more familiar with. Again, this is our first time announcing this, so if you guys see these around, make sure to give them a big congratulations or whatever else. So, at the top of the roster, K-Pud from, I'm going to say the team name, K-Pud from Team Megalodon. Coming in number 2 on the slot is going to be Subcutie. You guys might remember him from Team Cape. Actually, K-Pud and Subcutie are both from Team It Ain't Easy Being K-Peasy, who played in the first Tournament of Legends, and I believe they took second place. So both very good players there. Subcutie, one of the most known Mesmers on NA, and K-Pud was, I would say, probably one of the most dominant teams in Guild Wars for the first, I would say like 6 months of the game. Team PZ, very strong team back in the day.
Yep.
Coming in number 3 on the roster is going to be Zombify from Team Sync. You might remember him from last year at the Guild Wars 2 PAX Invitational. His team took second place to Car Crash. That was back when they had Da Vinci and Cade Who else did they have? They had Twerp and Zombify. I don't know. So there was someone else. I feel really bad because I know I'm missing one person on the roster now, and I can't imagine them in my head. I feel really awful. I'm gonna keep going. Zeus. Do you know Zeus at all?
Yes, I do. Nice, great player. Made the Fresh Air build really popular. He actually just released a spellbook, kind of like guide to his new version of that build on the forums. So I suggest people go check that out. Fantastic player. We just had him on our fight night where we watched him do some work against Apex. So great player. I'm really happy for him. This is a great opportunity for him.
Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. I guess so. Coming in 5th year on the roster is going to be old Fantaram.
Oh, nice.
I really goofed on the blog post that we put up there. I put him as Fataram, and people gave me a lot of grief. But he made it in regardless. Hopefully they knew they were voting for the right guy. But yeah, we got Fantaram. So for anyone who is maybe new to Guild Wars, he was on one of the most, I would say one of the strongest teams for a very, very long time in EU.
Definitely.
Team Paradigm. And he's played for a couple different teams since then. In fact, I believe I played on a team with Fantaram for just a little while, Team Paradigm NA, before the European team stole him and took him away. That's right,
wow,
folks.
I didn't know that.
I used to play competitively a little bit, a tiny bit. Anyway, so that's the NA team. Again, it's going to be K-Pud, Subcutie, Zombify, Zeus, and Fantaram. I would say a very DPS oriented comp. I would say there's not a lot of bunkers in this comp. If anyone's going to play one, I would imagine it's probably K-Pud. But now that the roster's been officially announced, hopefully these guys can get together and start practicing. Because, again, the tournament is in just a couple weeks here. I believe the first date of the tournament's going to be on August 14th. So they've got a little time to practice. Because their European competition, which I'm going to get to here in just a moment, is pretty stiff. I ran through this earlier with Justin, and
this is going to be hard.
It's going to be rough, I think.
Yeah, NA, it's time to bring the pain. Okay, all right. We can't lose this one. All right.
NA's got to step up. I will agree.
Get to practicing, guys. All right, you hear me?
So, starting off the roster here, we do have Mr. Tage Itage. Probably one of the most well-known bunker guardians in Europe. Plays for Team Mist, and Team Mist is going to be a very common just connection between all these names we're going to show here. So Tage, very good guardian, very good foundation for the team here. Denji, also from Team Mist. Do you see a pattern so far?
Yeah, I'm seeing the pattern. Yeah,
all right,
this is going to be good.
So Denji, very good elementals. He also multi-classes. Great guy, really nice. Very helpful. So yeah, coming in number 3 on the team is gonna be Sizer, from Team Mist. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. This team's looking pretty stacked so far, I will say. Again, Sizer, definitely one of the best sleeves on EU. See him streaming all the time. I think I got him this morning and was watching him stream before I came in here. So.
Yeah, he's a very, very, very good Thief player. If you guys haven't checked him out, you need to go watch his stream now.
Unless he's not right now.
Not right now.
I would wait a couple minutes,
later.
at least another 20, 30 minutes.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, coming in number 4 is Rom, again, from Team Mist. He is, I believe he mains Warrior. He has a variety of builds. I believe he plays Hambo. He also plays the Eviscerate, Axe Sword build, which is kind of interesting. Good duelist, good farpoint pusher. So far, a very solid team.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Very solid team.
Can't wait to see who the 5th is, though. Let's see.
Yeah, so I'll actually be subbing in as the 5th player for this team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so nice. I'm really excited to play. Really excited for this opportunity. Actually, no. I think we'll be bringing Helseth from again, Team Mist.
Oh no.
So a little background on Team Mist. They're the winners of the first Tournament of Legends. Great team. They've been around in a couple different iterations. They had Civilized Gentlemen back in the day. Before that, I think it was Team Curse at some point. And I don't know how far back they go past that. But I know Sizer and a couple other players are from teams like Cheese Mode and Maiden Meta, Chieftain Ninjas. So again, all very top players that have been around for a very long time. It's gonna be rough for the NA team, but I think they'll be able to pull through and give us some interesting games.
You know, we've got a really, really, really strong NA scene now. You know, it's really starting to develop, and all of these NA players are good players. I'd like to see them gel together real fast because you're going up against TCG. That's going to be a tough matchup. So NA, let's get practicing. Let's bring the pain come Gamescom. All right.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess the wild card here being the Chinese team, who we've never actually seen play before. Obviously, we don't know that much about them, so it'll be really interesting. I'll bring back a full report when I get back from China Joy in 2 weeks, and if I'm limping back, you guys will know that I got thoroughly destroyed. But yeah, should be interesting. Now, one thing I wanted to show real quick here is we showed some concept armor, or some concept art rather, of the armor sets we're going to be releasing that'll be exclusively available through top-end tournaments such as the Gamescom, All-Stars Invitational, and, tournaments that we'll run in the future here. So I just wanted to show those off real quick here. I know there's like a version of the armor floating around that didn't really give it, its true, what it truly deserved. So I'm going to flip down here real quick here. So this is going to be this is the light armor set. And I just took these a couple minutes ago, maybe like 30 minutes ago with my amateur art skills. But the great armor set, I would say. Like as you can see, like it's got like the inlaid like gems, like little like emeralds on the armor set. Very majestic looking, and the actual inspiration for the armor sets is Hall of Heroes, and you can kind of see that as in like the pauldrons here and the shoulder pieces. You can kind of see some of that iconic art. And you on the knee pads there, you can kind of see some like lion stuff. And as we go through, you'll see some common themes of the armor here. So here's the medium. You'll notice a lack of trench coats. Pretty excited about this set here. And I know, Justin, you haven't seen this yet, so I know you're catching up here. You can tell me how awesome the light set is in a second here. But yeah, anyways, so here's the second set. This is for the medium. And then we're going to jump over here to the heavy. Now, the armor, or the weapons, rather, of all these sets are 730 in the game. It's all Lion Guard. It just felt very similarly themed. As you can see, the lion there on the knee pads. Very cool armor sets. The green sections are not, they will not be able to be dyed. That's kind of like the, it kind of tells you, like, what event or, like, when you got the armor set. So it's pretty cool looking. Again, really excited to have this armor set here. And I did throw in one other screenshot that I took myself, because I know everyone who gets this is going to want to dye it Abyss Black. And I'm going to show you why. So I got my little warrior here with all those green accents. So all the armor's dyed completely Abyss Black, and you got the really nice green accents. Kind of glows. If you go in the dark, it's very vibrant. And of course, I got my Super Venture Box swords there as well, just to kind of complete the outfit. But again, it looks really cool. Really excited to have the armor set and see some select few players running around with it. Some exclusive rewards. Now, I did fail to mention. I'm gonna backtrack here like 2 steps, and I wanted to congratulate a couple teams. We do have a couple teams that have actually qualified for the Tournament of Legends Championship. That's gonna be straight out of Colombia, and Team Blacklisted on NA, and on the EU side of things, it's gonna be 55 HP Monks and I Love Lunch. I Love Lunch rings a bell because you saw them. Actually, you saw 55 HP Monks and I Love Lunch actually took some of the ESL Weekly Cups.
Yeah, they're both just very strong teams on the EU side of things. And it's fantastic to see two Blacklisted coming back and making it into the qualifying, and qualifying for the tournament. Straight out of Colombia, upsetting Elusive. Great accomplishment there, too. So all 4 teams definitely deserve their spot, and can't see what they do in the next round.
Yeah, definitely. And one shout-out here to Team Blacklisted, the Euroteam on the Ranger. A lot of people giving him flack. A lot of people giving him flack about the Ranger there. He was running Berserker Ranger, not something that's super common, but he brought the pain. And it was really interesting to see people try to react, and for the most part fail to react, to bring something that's not necessarily meta into the games. And as you'll see here in a little bit, as we go towards the skill bar by Karl McLain, you'll be able to see why that spec is going to be even better in the future.
Oh, great.
I know. I'm just gonna keep teasing about all these awesome changes that are coming up for the Ranger here in a little bit. I think most people are pretty excited for that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So again, guys, I was gonna plug your guys' stream again one more time, but I think I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
There's one other thing real quick here. We talked about this last time around here. We had a competitive PvE tournament that was pretty interesting. It was a speedrun tournament that DNT threw on. Went really well. A lot of people showed up to watch it. A lot of people participated. We've got another one coming up. Not quite the same format. It's going to be called the Immortal Kingdom Fractal Tournament. Nice. It's a little bit different of a setup because fractals are very random. Can't really say what you're going to be going into each time you jump to a fractal, right? So they've got an interesting setup. You guys can find more information on that tournament and the prizes and where to watch the live stream inside the dungeon forums. It's called the Immortal King Fractal Tournament, and we'll try to post some stuff here in chat here shortly after the show in case you guys are interested. Again, before we jump onto the Tournament Legends 2 stuff, we will be in China Joy we'll be in China at China Joy, not this weekend, but the next. So if you guys are going to be there, not that it's likely, since most of you guys are English speaking, please stop by the Guild Wars 2 booth run by our partners Kongjong. Say hello to us. We'll be there pretty much the entire time. So looking forward to meeting some Guild Wars 2 players from China. So, one last pitch. Justin, where can we watch Tournament Legends 2 this weekend for the North American qualifiers?
So for the North American qualifiers, come check us out at twitch.tv/digitalprosports. That's where you're going to see all of the NA action. We've got a lot of top teams coming out this weekend. It's going to be Megalodon, so you're going to see that team playing, and we were just talking about some of their...
What was that team name?
Megalodon confirmed. So
okay.
We're going to see, some of their players are actually on the All-Star team for NA, so we're going to get to see them play. And then down at the bottom, you got No Clue. So this is going to be a...
What'd you say?
We got the team No Clue. Yeah.
Just kidding. Continue.
So, it's going to be a fun bracket to watch. Can't wait to see those matches and how they play out. I'm kind of excited for it. So, again, twitch.tv/digitalprosports. Stream starts at 12 p.m. Pacific time. See you guys there.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for joining us, Justin. Really
you know what? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you later.
We're going to move on to the highly anticipated balance segment by Mr. Karl McLain. Big props to our producer over here, Mark K. You might see him from I said this before. You might recognize him from the very bottom of a thread right before he locks it. He did a great job of putting the video together for us, and then thanks to Karl for actually doing that. It's kind of an experiment for us. I think it probably conveys the information we want to explain in these shows a little bit better than actually us sitting up here and talking about it for like 20, 30, 40 minutes. So it's very compact. A lot of information, though, but we're excited. So let us know on the forums or even in Twitch chat here how you feel about it, and we'll take it into consideration when we go to the next episode. So, guys, again, this is Skill Bar with Karl McLain for Ranger and Engineer.
Hi, welcome to the Skill Bar. My name is Karl McLain, a game designer here at ArenaNet. Today we're going to talk about up-and-coming balance changes for the Engineer and Ranger. The build that I've been using for the most part is just a one that has just high crit damage, so you get big numbers, and runes of strength. So I'm running something like 26006. That's my build. The first change we're going to talk about today is Power Wrench. Power Wrench previously delivered crippling blows with your auto attack and your throw wrench ability. This has been folded into the baseline of your toolkit, and so now you don't actually have to equip this trait in order to maintain that crippling effect. Instead, Power Wrench has been changed to have a 10% damage increase while using the toolkit. Your combo, your pry bar, and your throw wrench abilities will all deal bonus damage now. The next trait we're going to talk about is Always Prepared. Previously, this trait only dropped bandages for your allies to pick up. Now we've added oil slicks so that when you go down, you'll drop a protective ring of oil slicks so that will knock enemies down when they enter them. Elite Supplies. This trait no longer grants increased duration while using Elixir X. Instead, you're now going to get 50% extra move speed. As you can see, Tornado has been changed to be a lightning field. Now you're going to be able to launch Whirling Bolts, as it is also a Whirlwind combo. Accelerant Pack Turrets. This trait's knockback distance has been reduced by 50%, making it go from a 300 range knockback to a 150 range knockback. The intent of this trait is more to cause disruption amongst your enemies, rather than controlling the area through massive knockbacks. Alright, now we're going to get into some skills. Rocket Turret. So the impact of the explosive rockets previously it was a bit hard to hit for the rocket turret. We wanted to increase the overall reliability of this skill, and so now the velocity has been slightly increased, and you're going to notice that it actually tracks the targets now. Check this out. Flamethrower. We've had a few adjustments on the flamethrower this time around. We have increased the damage of the flame jet by about 33% because it was just not on par with a lot of other skills. The Flame Blast Detonate, the actual detonation portion of this ability, has been changed to be a blast finisher. So now that you're going to be able to launch a field and then actually fire this skill into it for an additional blast. Flame Wall. This ability now delivers strikes on each pulse. Air Blast. We have increased the cast time of this by about 1/4 of a second, and so now it's gonna be a little bit more, have a little bit more delay to it. Whereas, and it's also been given a little bit more of a tell through the effects. You're going to see a little bit more of a wind up from this ability now. Elixir R. The cast time of this ability has been reduced by about 1/4 of a second. In addition to refilling your endurance, you're now going to remove Immobilize when you're using this ability. Elixir C. The number of conditions affected by this skill has been increased from 1 to 2 for all allies affected by it. Launch Personal Battering Ram. This toolbutt skill has had its damage increased by 20%. Medkit Drop Antidote. Have you ever dropped this thing right in front of your face when you've been immobilized? Good news! If you use this ability while you are immobilized, it will remove that condition. Utility Goggles. Analyze. This ability now applies 6 seconds of reveal in addition to the vulnerability that it applies. Glue Shot. We increased the velocity of this projectile by 50%. AED. We felt that this ability was slightly underperforming, being as you have to make such a huge sacrifice in order to attain that uber healing effect. So we wanted to reward that just a little bit more, and also make it so that you're not going to die quite as fast if you actually hit that threshold. So this ability will now remove all damaging conditions when you hit that threshold of you would have taken a fatal blow. This build that I'm using is, kind of janky as usual. I'm trying to show everything off, but it's mostly into marksmanship line, and it's got a lot of power damage into it. There's some light duration on it, that sort of thing. So let's get going and talk about the Ranger. The first thing we want to talk about here is the trait Signet of the Beastmaster. This Signet it sort of like hampered the way that the Rangers could spec, because if they wanted to use Signets, the only way they could really make them truly useful was to go into the Grandmaster line for marksmanship and get this trait. We didn't feel like that was really fair in terms of like making builds, and so we have changed this trait. This trait is no longer Signet of the Beastmaster. Your Signets now have those effects baseline. So your Signet of Stone will now affect your pet and yourself. Your Signet of the Hunt will affect your pet and yourself. Likewise with the other ones. So the trait that has replaced Signet of the Beastmaster is now called Predator's Onslaught. This trait increases your damage to movement-inhibited opponents. So the trait basically reads, you and your pet deal bonus damage to enemies suffering from movement-impeding conditions. This means crippled, chilled, and immobilized. The damage bonus from this trait is 10% for yourself and 5% for your pet. Next trait we want to talk about is Read the Wind. In addition to increasing the velocity of your arrows when you're wielding a longbow, it's going to actually increase your attack speed. This means you'll be able to fire off arrows at a faster rate than you would without the trait. Next up is Strider's Defense. We've increased the percent to block from 15% to 20%. On to the Beast Mastery line. We felt that the Beast Mastery line was limiting in a lot of ways, in that the master traits required you to have specific pets in order to actually take a lot of the traits that were somewhat useful. We removed a lot of the specificity from it, meaning that you can use this trait with any pet you have. So, for example, Rending Attacks now actually bleeds with any pet crit on their basic attack. Stability training, likewise, will activate with any pet you have. And lastly, Intimidation training now applies Cripple on any of your pet's F2 skills that have a strike on them. So now that we're done talking about traits, let's talk about the skills themselves. For the longbow during this balance pass, we wanted to sort of kind of tighten up some of the cast times and make it so that it's easier to use during a skirmish or during a fight, so you're not sort of stuck casting one thing for a long period of time. With that, let's go through some of the skills. Long range shot. We wanted to tighten up some of the damage components of this. So at short range, it dealt really subpar damage. So we've increased that by about 17%. Similarly, the medium tier was doing a little bit subpar damage. It wasn't all that great. So we've increased that by about 7%. Whereas the long range, we felt like that one actually did a decent. It does a good job of dealing its damage, and so we left that one as is, and so that portion will be receiving no damage increase. Rapid fire. So this skill was a little bit harder to use because you were stuck casting it for about 5 seconds at a time. So what we've done is we've actually reduced the cast time of it by about 50%. Behold! It's actually pretty fun to use right about now. It does a decent amount of damage, and it's actually, you feel like you got a little bit more spike available to you. Next up is Barrage. So we wanted to reduce the amount of time spent casting this while leaving its effectiveness about the same. So we've reduced its cast time by about half a second. Next on the list today is Greatsword. So for the combo, we've left it mostly the same. The damage of Power Stab, which is the third strike of the skill, that damage has been increased by about 10%. Next on the list is Maul. So what we've done for this skill is we've increased the maximum amount of targets it can hit from 3 to 5, while increasing its radius from 150 to 220 points. Swoop now evades on the attack portion of the ability, meaning if you're traveling to a target while you're still running, you can still be struck. But once you enter your attack animation where you're swinging your blade, you are actually evading. Counterattack has had its aftercast reduced, meaning you'll be able to respond much more quickly after landing your knockback blow. Hilt Bash. The stun and daze durations of this skill have been increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. Sikkim. This utility skill now applies 6 seconds of reveal to enemies. Entangle. The recharge of this ability has been reduced from 150 seconds down to 60 seconds. Likewise, the duration of the roots themselves have been decreased from 20 seconds down to 5, meaning you'll be able to use this ability much more frequently. Let's talk about the axe. Ricochet now grants Might on hit. It's 3 seconds base. As you can see with mine, I'm up to about 4 seconds because I have a little bit extra Might duration. Meaning that this ability is going to be much more useful against multiple targets than against just one target. With this new addition, you're going to want to bounce your weapon off of as many opponents as possible, giving you the maximum amount of Might stacks. Path of Scars. The velocity of this projectile has been increased by 25%, meaning you're going to be able to land that attack much easier than before. Now on to the pets. There haven't been that many pet changes this time around, but we wanted to tell you about a couple of the ones that we're talking about. The black bear's enfeebling roar has been slightly changed so that it no longer goes through blocking and evading, but now delivers a strike, which can be useful for things like rending attacks and intimidation training. Similarly, the polar bear has received the same sort of rework on its icy roar, in that his roar will now deliver a physical attack. Alrighty everyone, that pretty much wraps it up for the skill bar today. Be sure to join us next time where we're going to talk about more profession and upcoming balance. Back to you, Josh.
All right, some interesting changes, guys. We're definitely very excited about a lot of that stuff, and I could see the Ranger hype in chat. Favorite quote is, "Carl, I think I'm going to cry." Me too. So anyways, guys, that's our show for today. As a reminder, we will be having regular segments with Mr. Karl McLain for the next 3 episodes, kind of previewing some of the changes we're going to be putting into the game here at an undisclosed time. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching right up episode 18, I think. Make sure to subscribe to the channel below so you're notified when this show and shows like Point of Interest go live. Again, we're on every other Friday, or we're on every Friday. There's a show every Friday. We're on every other Friday. Something like that. Anyways, make sure to follow us on Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter for all these sweet updates. Again, my name is Josh Davis, and I'm the Competitive Events Manager at ArenaNet, and we'll see you next time.